Hi, I'm Angela Reuben, and when I was reading about the Battle of Shiloh during the Civil War, I came across a major who had to have his arm amputated because he had got hit in the arm. He was shot in the arm. And back then, of course, they didn't have artificial limbs like we do today. So I was wondering, what did he do after the war? I mean, he couldn't pull his own boots on anymore, and he couldn't button up his own shirt. So what did he do? And I started researching him, and I found out he did some really interesting things. Like, he scaled cliffs 2,000 feet high with no ropes. And he led an expedition down some really wicked rapids without being able to row. And his story was so fascinating that not only did I research it more, but I decided that I needed to write about him. In my book, Conquering the Great Unknown, you're going to meet John Wesley Powell, who is an intelligent, high-spirited man, geologist, university professor, and you're going to meet his crew. And this is my friend Dusty Williams, and he's going to play John Wesley Powell in the illustrations of my book. So Dusty, what drew you to play the part of John Wesley Powell?
I think in my own life, and I think a lot of people within my age category find themselves sort of intimidated by life and the enormity of having to make something of yourself, the enormity of the mountain in front of you. And then hearing about this guy who was a professor and scaled 2,000-foot mountains and sailed down rivers that he couldn't even row by himself with one arm, and did all of this over the course of many years. I just found that really inspirational, and I'm hoping that in playing him, some of that will rub off on me.
So what attracted you to the project then, besides the great money that you're making?
Well, surprisingly, it wasn't actually the money. I mean, if donations happen to come in and I can get myself a smoothie during shooting, that'd be wonderful. But really, it was the passion of the people that are involved. These are professional people, and they are so moved by this project that they're donating their time and their skills that they could otherwise be using to get themselves some smoothies. And so I really believed in supporting them. And then on a personal note, this is my first time as a model portraying a historical character, and so it's sort of a chance to stretch my boundaries.
So Major Powell, why did you decide to take such a dangerous trip when you knew that nobody else that had tried it had survived?
Well, I just couldn't stand seeing those great big expanses labeled unknown on the map. I had to know what was out there. And I knew that having just one arm, I couldn't do it all by myself, so I got a fine crew to come with me. And who were the young men that risked their lives to explore with me? Well, you'll have to read the book to find out. And how many of those fine young men paid the ultimate price on that trip? That's in there too.
So my dream is to tell the story of this famous journey with a little bit different way. A lot of people do it in just nonfiction, but I want to also bring in some of the more dynamic scenes as faction, which is facts told in a fictional way. I think that people will find that to be really enjoyable, and will stick in their mind. So that's why I teamed up with Dusty and the other actors and Rae Chip Productions. Her photos are going to captivate you heart and soul. We're also going to include a map of the journey that we took to take the photos so that you can go and follow our trip. I'm hoping that my book will inspire wounded veterans, geologists, explorers, historians, anybody over the age of 8 who likes to read, that they can follow their dreams, and that no matter what rapids come into their life, that those things can be navigated and conquered. I appreciate any donations that you make towards the book, and I look forward to seeing your compliments when we get the book out.